Discerning Hearts presents In Search of the Still Point with Dr. Regis Martin. In episode 11, Dr. Martin reflects on Rebuild the Church, Fall on Your Knees.
What will it take to rebuild the church? Well, it all depends on whom you ask. If you put the question to someone like James Carroll, who despite having left the church years and years ago, feels perfectly free to instruct the rest of us on how to run it, the answer is pretty simple. Destroy it. Dismantle the structures which have proven themselves to be hopelessly corrupt, and start over. And while it's a bit like leveling every library in the land because nobody's reading books, it does have the advantage of ensuring that people remain illiterate. I mean, if that's what you want. But suppose you want people to get started on books again. What then? Or suppose you actually prefer having a church that works without having first to destroy it. What do you do then? Well, you might want to listen to Cardinal Robert Sarah, prefect for the Congregation for Divine Worship, who has the most refreshingly Catholic views on how to rebuild the church. Not long ago, he found himself standing amid the ruins of the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris, the sheer wreckage of which reminded him of the state of the church, and that in order to rebuild it, he said, we have got to overcome our fear and inhibition about telling the truth about God, about man, which we appear so cravenly unwilling either to proclaim or to defend. In other words, we have become like an arrow that is no longer aimed at God, but has fallen into the dust. No longer aspiring to pierce the heavens, the spires of the human spirit now find themselves, like the cathedral itself, shattered and broken, turned inward upon themselves. The fire that has ravaged Notre Dame, that hallowed symbol which for 1,000 years stood in the heart of Paris to remind us of what ultimately matters, that is now engulfing the entire Christian West. You want to rebuild the church, he asks, then you must get down on your knees. Nothing less than adoration will save us, he insists. Indeed, destitution is the condition of man left to himself, refusing all access to God. A spiritual asphyxiation, no less, is what threatens us, in which we are gasping for the breath of God, for which prayer alone enables us to receive. You want to rebuild this beautiful cathedral that is the Catholic Church? He asks again, get on your knees. A cathedral, he continues, is first of all a place where men can kneel, where God is present in the most holy sacrament. The most urgent task, therefore, is to recover a sense of adoration, whose absence, he tells us, is the source of all the fires and crises that are rocking the world and the church. This is not a program or a blueprint for producing more structures. The church does not need more structures. She does not need more machinery or managers to run the machines. She needs mystics, men and women who have fallen in love with God, the only finally satisfying adventure in the universe. Sanctity is the solution, and only the holy need apply, and of course, those who long to become holy, which one hopes will include all of us. This is Regis Martin at the Still Point. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Dr. Regis Martin in Search of the Still Point. For more episodes in this series, visit discerninghearts.com, or you can find it in our free Discerning Hearts app or on many other streaming platforms. Discerning Hearts is a 501c3 nonprofit Catholic apostolate dedicated to evangelization and spiritual formation through the use of new media. To learn how you can support our mission, visit discerninghearts.com.